My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. This is called Stalking with Light. City of Ontario, Securitas. City of Ontario, Brightview, audible activity. Ontario International Airport, psychopathic pacing. The people of the state, psychopathic pacing. GPC, stalking in the path, psychopathic pacing. Fake sun. Remember, C. Gerber is gang stalking with the OVITT Family Community Library, including as they engage in an unlawful exclusion while they're gang stalking. Stalking with Light is demonic. It's also corrupt with regard to Paul Leon, the City of Ontario, the Ontario City Council, that is engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. And you're looking at the pattern. The objective is maintaining light activity in that environment under the fake sun. It is currently 8:25 a.m. C. Gerber's under the fake sun that's over the same apartment building at 10:04 a.m., 10:17 a.m. The Ontario City Hall is gang stalking, pacing in the engineer light under this fake sun after 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the evening. This is the P.O.C. GPC documented harassing me while they're being engaged in the P.O.C. 09979 Edward 4, that's on the record. GPC is a gang stalking company. Brightview is a gang stalking company. City of Ontario is a gang stalking city, a municipality that engaged in an unlawful exclusion while simultaneously engaging in the pattern of conduct. And this is federal prison because my life is under threat while they engage in that. This is P.O.C. It's currently 8:26 a.m. at the 280 North Limit Apartments, OVITT Family Community Library, downtown Ontario Luxury Apartments, Ontario Town Square, where the people of the state are stalking on the roads and the highways. 9XLK537, and they are not slick. That turning signal is light activity under the fake sun. P.O.C. It is currently 9:33 a.m. and this is strategic documentation regarding what is stalking by a state facilitating venue. That is a legal term of art when you are exposing public corruption by the government that is engaged in criminal surveillance, and this is federal group stalking and monitoring. So to put it in basic terms, Paul Leon is no mayor, and the Ontario City Hall is a gang stalking facilitating venue where criminal surveillance is engaged in. In other words, vagina monitoring. While the City Hall is in relevant position to that venue, the OVITT Family Community Library, where the entity is maintaining the fake sun. The fake sun is over me on this day, January 29, 2026, not this day, but January 29, 2026, at this exact same time. And this is also relevant to what I documented yesterday when this fake sun is over me at this same venue, the Ontario City Hall, 303 East B Street. This is the venue of the government that's engaged in criminal activity. And the entity is maintaining this fake sun at 11:14 a.m. like I documented yesterday, March 4th, 2026. And everybody that you saw standing in front were stalking. The demon-possessed surmise that they can stand around, not talk to you, look serious, look like they're interested in whatever it is that they're doing, look important, whatever you think importance looks like. And while they're doing that, they're engaging in the pattern of conduct, and you will be federally prosecuted, period, based on the facts. All right, you will find out that doctors and lawyers and judges, that children, that parents, that communities, that companies are engaged in the egregious and violent sex offensive gang stalking. And so are public officials like Paul Leon. This is the Ontario City Hall. The fake sun's over me as I documented at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on March 3rd, 2026. The sun is not going to be not even in the sky space, but let alone over the same exact address, which is within the same pattern of conduct. And at this Ontario City Hall, the entity is engaged in what is gang stalking me by helicopter. Every time that they're gang stalking me by helicopter at the Ontario Town Square, the Ontario City Hall is gang stalking me in concert with that entity via helicopter. This is the same civic center. It's on the opposite side of the 280 North Limit Apartments, where Southwest Airlines, UPS, American Airlines, Delta Airlines, Frontier Airlines are flying right over this senior citizen complex, and they're flying over the City Hall doing the same thing. I'm just showing you what is the City Hall. Paul Leon, who's being removed from office, and he will be subject to a federal prosecution. That Ontario City Council is a gang stalking vagina monitoring entity. All right, and this is an entity that has conspired by murder. That's the seriousness with regard to showing you this specific environment that is not excluded. With regard to the Ontario City Hall, I'm documenting impunity. These demons were pacing under this fake sun that was over this walkway, as I documented on March 3rd, 2026. It remained over this walkway until after 5 p.m. C. Gerber is under this fake sun at 10:17 a.m. over the this edge, this walkway over here. You're looking at what is literally the same location as I show you one vantage point. And again, in the courtroom, this is and this is my courtroom, but in the tribunal, the four walls of a tribunal, that aerial understanding of what it is that I'm showing is in HD, okay? The entity's engaged in this, and I just want to capture it. It's currently 9:36 a.m. This is the fake sun speaking to what is criminal surveillance. You're not ignorant. You know who I am. You're engaging in gang stalking, and this is the entity that engaged in an unlawful exclusion. It is discrimination on its face. It is federal group stalking and monitoring in substance with the intent to obstruct justice. And federal prison is required. This is P.O.C. All right, this is Stalking. This is the entity that's tracking my steps. License 7YDA 450. This is also the location where the Ontario Police CEASELESS, the gang members engaged in criminal summoning right here. The engineer light, I captured the same thing under the fake sun, same light activity at nightfall where the Ontario Police are engaged in criminal summoning. The people of the state are doing the same thing, they're stalking with light. This is a demon. As I come around the corner, they're already here. It's not enough that they drive by stalking with light, they want to stalk and be on the same side of the street. Pepe's towing is stalking on the opposite side of the street. The entity is always maintaining light activity while the people of the state are pacing. And this is the stationary presence with light activity. 7YOA450 is a stalker. That's a male lurking in the middle of the night, stalking a woman, conspiring her murder. This is a population that is stalking, that knows exactly who I am. And this is where the Ontario International Airport is stalking. These are gang stalkers on behalf of the airport, gang stalkers on behalf of the police department, gang stalkers on behalf of the sheriff's department, gang stalkers on behalf of the entity that's maintaining surveillance through the fire department, the ambulance. Those are state actors. The people of the state are all surrounding and they're stalking me. You're not coincidentally right here in the path. He comes right around the corner and stops right here. Okay, there's nothing open over here. In addition, I just want you to understand the threat that's posed, because this is the analysis I'm going to use, that this is how you're going to prosecute the government for the unprecedented crime of domestic terrorism. This video, I have more, but this video is going to be used to prosecute every single last third party I have. It's not an individual, it's an entity. You're breaking down the pattern of conduct, and I will use it against everybody on the street that I documented, every neighborhood, because it's the same P.O.C. This is the fake moon that's over me, and Pepe is towing that company is stalking me at night, and Pepe has a third-party gang stalking demon inside of that vehicle stalking, with another that's lurking around the corner in sync with my physical movement, and you know that because of the documentation of the whole environment, which is supernatural. Wells Fargo is being prosecuted for stalking with regard to the environment, and the people of the state that are stalking using those venues. Going to the ATM will incriminate Wells Fargo. Being on the property around the facilitating environment, being at the curb. There is no such thing as public and private property in the facilitating environment. You will be federally prosecuted whether or not the branch is open or not. And we all know that Wells Fargo is gang stalking. That's why the Ontario Police are stalking me by helicopter. The Ontario International Airport are stalking me by planes flying over that venue. And their demon-possessed employees are stalking as well. This is P.O.C. That's psychological torture. That's an unprecedented, unlawful threat posed by the government acting through that third party whose license plate I recited. And this is video evidence that will be used against that population. This is P.O.C. It is currently... Currently 10:36 p.m. All right, I want to document, this is Ontario Police, and this is also a demon. So they're engaging in the same pattern of conduct that the people of the state engage in. This is stalking in the path. They're stalking in perfect, I am positioned. This is a demon. Gang stalking in the path. They're doing so while I'm being touched with light that is impossible to occur under all circumstances. And it's also relevant to what is psychological torture while this department is already proven to be stalking me. And doing so with regard to repeatedly kidnapping and harassing, like what C. Gerber is doing with the OVITT Family Community Library, banning me from that venue where I'm documenting them engaging in surveillance at that library. It is occurring, which is the fake moon. This is the fake moon that's right here over me, speaking to also the fact that this department is engaged 24, and they are violent sex offenders who are demons that are stalking me in particular, know exactly where I'm at, and they know what I'm saying right now, and they're molesting me with impossible light while they are stalking in the path. This is psychological torture that I'm going to prosecute this department for. All right, and this is relevant to the prosecution of Mike LORENZ, who's engaged in the unabated program of psychological torture while they are engaging in criminal surveillance, not law enforcement. They know exactly who I am. They know what I'm saying right now. They know where I'm located. The fake moon, the documentation of this department stalking me under the fake sun, the ongoing pattern of conduct shown by the entity that's engaging in psychopathic pacing together. And while they're doing that, I'm being touched with impossible light. That's a demon in a police vehicle stalking me at what is 11:44 p.m. This is the P.O.C. There is no distinction with regard to the pattern of conduct. You're looking at the pattern of conduct underway by what is classified as the government acting directly, the government that's engaging what is demonic activity in furtherance of murder, okay? This is P.O.C, that's an unlawful threat. And this is what the entity is doing vicariously through the people. And moreover, they're still doing it while they're watching me publish evidence on the internet about them. That's also relevant to prosecuting that department, prosecuting every kidnapper, prosecuting every stalker that I capture, like C. Gerber, under the fake sun. The entity's engaging in this, and they're doing so in the specific environment. Let me show you. Here's my shadow here. And here's my other shadow over here. That is a demon that is specifically stalking me. And that's how obsessed demons are. Demons that are masquerading as a police department. They're not a police department. That's the whole point. They're not a police department. They're not engaged in law enforcement. They are engaged in criminal surveillance, and they're demons engaged in what is satanic conduct. Monitoring. Monitoring is pursuant to what is stalking. They're monitoring pursuant to demon possession. They're monitoring spirits. This is P.O.C. The entity's maintaining surveillance over me. There's a plane here. There's another one over here. And this is also where the entity's maintaining the commercial planes hovering over at the fake moon location, which is over me. This is P.O.C.